Hey guys, just doing a bit of a game room update. I made some changes and I just want to document it and hopefully it gives you some cool ideas too. So I've still got my MAME cabinet there hooked up to that speaker just so we can change the sounds and volumes of the games on the fly. Turtles and NBA Jam still there. I ended up selling my pinball machine, so what I've done is I've moved this sort of nostalgia cabinet out of that corner and I put this Pokemon chair that my dad made for my boys there. And this old PC, it's kicked the bucket, but that's all right. It looks cool anyway, kind of nostalgic, and I could always restore it. In this section here, I've got some of my favorite games on display. This is just an old acrylic lipstick rack. And I've seen people 3D printing stands, so that's something I want to try and get into as well. Just some Nintendo games. These ones are ones I used to play heaps when I was a kid, and I still do. My original Game Boy I got. Back behind here, so I've got some Mega Drive games in their cases. I'm not trying to go for full sets of anything. I just, when I'm out at markets or whatever, I see games that are cool. I just pick them up. They're getting pretty expensive now, so emulation is my best friend. Back here, we've got some big box games for Amiga and Atari. This Ghostbusters game is the first video game I ever played on a console because Atari was my first. This Coleco arcade works as well. And this is it's like Pong, but it splits into two pieces. So one player would play one and one player would play the other. And then you can change your game to, different squash or tennis, whatever, football, whatever you would want to call it. It's awesome. Actually, that's the first. I had an Atari, but that's the first one I remember playing. My dad used to bring it out. Comes with a gun too. I'll show you the case, the box for it later on. Very primitive, but so cool. It runs on either a battery or you could plug it into power. I've put some of my favorite big box sports games up here now. There's my Superboy I bought in Japan at Super Potato, as well as that twin bell alarm clock. This Mega Man's awesome. I've never opened it. I'm so tempted because all his weapons, when you click his weapons onto his arm, they change the sound he makes. See all those? The level select. So if I put those cutters in, it would play Cutman's theme and so tempted to try it. I've just watched YouTube reviews, so I've seen it in action. There's that joystick I love playing with when I use my Amiga, 80s joystick. There's an Atari joystick. It works with an Amiga. So with Amiga games, it always helps if you have a second joystick plugged in for some reason or another. It just works. I've got some Amiga disc games just hiding back there. This is my Hot Wheels Ecto wagon. It opens, it's got everything there. I'm more into the Back to the Future, but I sold my Back to the Future stuff. I've got a Back to the Future signed almanac as well that I'm thinking about selling, but I just can't bring myself to do it just yet. Like I said, it's very expensive to collect retro now, so I use a lot of emulation on these consoles here. So that's the Mega Drive one, well, Genesis one, Nintendo ones, I've hacked them. There's the Wii U, which plays GameCube games as well as Wii, so it's pretty versatile. I don't play a lot of Wii games though, just some loose carts, just some of my favorites that I used to play when I was a kid, like stuff like that, Jurassic Park, some 64 games. As I've gotten older and got kids now, you don't get as much time to play as the amount of games you used to, so it's just cool to hang on to your favorites. PlayStation and Xbox, my original Nintendo, which is my favorite, Sega Mega Drive, Dreamcast is awesome, got some great games on Dreamcast, love Crazy Taxi. That's my Atari 2600 from back in the day, Xbox 360, 64, and Super Nintendo, and Master System. Now my cable management isn't fantastic, but I'm working on it. And so over here what I've got is what I've set up lately. I love this setup. So I've moved this PC, which was over with the consoles, over to this TV. And I've always wanted a driving setup, and I've bought and sold so many driving setups and then they just sit in a cupboard, and because you can't be bothered pulling them out, you never use them. So finally, I've been able to rig up this driving setup with the steering wheel here, and I've got the pedals down the bottom. Mind my cables again, I haven't finished loading up. And I'm able to emulate with this PC, I can use this Mario Kart game, there's a Wacky Racers game, a Batman game, all these cool games, Sonic Arcade Racer. So this is Mario Kart from the arcade, if you've seen it before. And I love it because it's English writing, but they speak in Japanese when they're commentating, and it's just so funny. It's awesome. I love Japan, and I love their zest for gaming and all that sort of stuff. Also, I've now hooked up my Sinnen light gun so I can play over here. While I liked playing my light gun over here on this big screen, again, if your light gun isn't out and it's in a cupboard, you don't pull it out. Whereas here now, all I do is put on the computer, bang, I've got my driving setup and my light gun. Now the only problem is I've got this drawer here and it doesn't close all the way. So my next job is to get like a little fine-tooth saw and just cut away so it closes. But for now it's all right, it's not the big deal. And I like it because it actually houses this wireless keyboard, and the mouse can go in there too. I've got some old CD games as well that I can still play. So that's cool. Now also what I've done is I moved the PlayStation 2 over here, and that's for a few reasons. One is I've got this Gran Turismo 3 game, and it's like it has an arcade mode. So when you're playing on this steering wheel, it was built for that game. So this works really well with, see how it comes back? It's got, well, it probably doesn't now because I'm not really playing it, but it comes back usually. It's got a lot of kick to it. It was made for Gran Turismo. So it's got force feedback. So I've actually had to plug it into an outlet there. Super cool though. And yeah, when you're playing it, it has the rumble. It's got the paddles in the back there. And I just map it to all these games that I like to play. I have hooked up this computer and my Mac here to these Roland Cakewalk speakers, and they pump. They're awesome. So that's 2 channels. So what I also do is, as a bit of a part-time gig and heaps of fun, my best friend and I, we make music on this Mac, and we master it at his house because he's a producer. And we're called Dreaming Melodies, and we're over the 2 million stream mark now. So if you want to check us out, Dreaming Melodies, we do sleeping music for kids, but we do movie themes in sort of played on the piano style. We do video game themes. It's actually helped my boys sleep, and it's helped my friends' kids sleep. So Apple Music, Spotify as well. So if you want to check out Dreaming Melodies, it's we're starting to really get a lot of reach now, a lot of traction. So that's fantastic that it's being recognised. Here I've got rugby league ball. Rugby league is a mainly Australian sport. My favourite team is the Brisbane Broncos, and this is signed by some of my favourite players all the time. It's actually all around the ball. If you can see, it's signed by a Queensland team. This glove was signed by Mike Tyson, and I love this story because I went to Vegas and I went to a dealer to buy this, and the dealer said, I was at the store buying it. He said, are you sticking around one more day? I said, no, because I was at my brother's Bucks party. Went to these pool parties. So cool. Anyway, I said, no, we're flying out tomorrow. He goes, he's in tomorrow. He's in here tomorrow. So I missed him by 1 day. But that doesn't matter. I still got his signature. I've always wanted him because he's my favourite fighter of all time. There's a Calvin Johnson signed helmet. He's probably one of the best wide receivers ever. Just the Michael Jordan upper deck statue, which is pretty hard to see, but it comes with a little sort of card on the side there. Baseball I picked up when I was in New York, just as a souvenir. And my NFL helmets collection. I've been collecting these since I was about 8. So they used to play 1 game a week in a highlights package here in Australia on Channel 2, which was like a public access channel here. And yeah, I've been following it forever. My favorite team is Minnesota, and I also followed Kansas City, but not before they were all amazing. So I have two teams because I like an NFC team and an AFC team. And in terms of the helmets, I just used to sort of pick what I thought was cool with the helmets. I like these ones because they're called speed helmets. I'll show you the bucks. The speed helmets because they're a bit more modern looking. But also, equally, I also like these ones here because that's the style they used to play with in the 80s and 90s, where they didn't have all this jazzy sort of face masks and the air holes and all that stuff. So I like that I've got a mix of old and new there. And that's pretty much it. I didn't think I have anything else to show. I've got this cupboard here still for my boys. I totally revamped this. And so that's got all their toys and all our peripherals and stuff. Here's that Pong game. Probably a bit hard to see, but you can see they've got football, squash. It's basically Pong, but the paddles are just arranged however you like it. And then there's the gun there. What's else? Oops. Oh, he's hit the deck. It's all right, he wasn't going to work anyway. And then in these drawers, I think I'll show you that house, my keyboard and mouse. And then this drawer, I've just got some console controllers that I use more regularly. I have console controllers in a storage bucket here, which is pretty easy to access. So just there, they're just old shoe boxes from Kmart, and I just have like different sections for different consoles. And then I've got some old games in here as well. This whole cabinet's just full of old games and stuff like that. But like I say, mainly when something's left out, you're more inclined to play it. If it's tucked away, not so much. And this booth's pretty cool. It works as a little seat when we play, but it's also got things like DVDs and Guitar Hero guitars. I like the idea of DVDs down here because when I'm working on my music, I can put a DVD in the PlayStation or the computer, and I can play it. They're really going off on the commentary. All right. Anyways, so I just wanted to show you my arcade or my game room, and even though it's minus the pinball machine, I don't miss the pinball machine as much as I would. And if my music really starts kicking, I might lash out and get myself a virtual arcade, virtual pinball, because they look pretty interesting. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. I hope you like the setup, and maybe I can show some gameplay footage for you at some stage. But yeah, have a great rest of your July, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.